everyone, and welcome to MeowMix, the Carolina Panthers Podcast. My name is Steven.
My name is Jerry.
And it's another week in June, which means we're going to have a podcast about the Panthers.
Hey, minicamp started.
I was going to say, something's happening.
Yeah.
It's another small camp where they won't have any pads, and everybody's going to look great in shorts.
Yeah.
But hey, it is football content, so I am here for it. Very excited. I watched a bunch of interviews from the field today. Dave Canales talking about, actually was asked about Jaire Alexander, somebody that we might be talking about here in a little bit. But, basically it's just getting the guys together, learning the playbook, getting some timing stuff down. Like, it's nothing crazy, but it does mean that we're one step closer to real football.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's important to the guys who are actually doing it. For us, it's a bunch of guys in shorts running and catching the ball. I mean, Hunter Renfrow and T-Mac, I will say, look like they had some speed on them in the videos I saw. Now, again, this is uncontested and everything else, but
I don't know where the fiction that T-Mac was slow came from, but he's not. He's fast. Like, he's a fast football player. He doesn't going to run Tyreek Hill numbers, but he's certainly fast enough to do what he needs to do out there.
Yeah. 4.5, 4.6.
I don't get. Yeah. He's not 4.6.
Like,
he ran a 4.4. He ran a 4.4. He's perfectly fast enough. Hunter Renfrow is just basically a slightly younger Adam Thielen.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, coming back from what he has dealt with is significant.
Sure.
So
which is why I say slightly younger, because he's significantly younger, but on body-wise, he might be closer.
Yeah. So I was excited to see that from him. Other than that, Leggett supposedly came up limping a little bit, but then came back. So on his foot, that's a little nervous considering he had that foot injury last year, but he still has a couple months before stuff starts really going.
Yeah. Hopefully they just, if there's any question at all, just let him sit and watch. No need to even play with that. But
hey, just go out to the jugs machine, XL. That's your job,
right? That's it. Should be doing anyway. Honestly, just standing at the jugs machine. Yeah, but it's again, no major injuries reported today. So I think today's the first day, right? So a couple more days. I think is it 3 days, 3-day mini camp?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
This type of timing kind of just, it is what it is.
Yeah, I thought that's what I had read, but yeah. So, well, we got the any other kind of thought? I mean, there's really not a lot to talk about in terms of mini camp, but
everybody stay healthy.
Yeah.
Get some timing down, and then we'll see you back. Enjoy your vacation.
Yeah. Right. Stay healthy. We talked about Jamal Adams, a couple weeks ago.
Jalen Ramsey,
whatever. Different guy. Jalen Ramsey, yeah. So we talked about him a couple of weeks ago. Nothing's really happened on that front. Still, possible, I guess. But there's some other guys out there who could help the secondary. That I guess some news came out recently that Jaire Alexander, looking around.
Well, no, he's getting released. That's the.
Oh, he's getting released. Okay. Well, that's weird, because when I was listening to Dave Canales speak, he was asked specifically about Jaire Alexander, and he was like, "Yeah, we'd have to kind of look at it, talk to him, see what they want for him."
Well, so, right now, he hasn't officially been released,
okay.
So
it could be one of those things where, instead of releasing him, they trade him for a 6th or 7th round pick.
They tried, but that contract no one wants. No one wants. Yeah. And that's I'll just jump right into him. That's what I would be nervous about bringing him in. He's been injured 3 out of the last 4 years. Yes, he is a Pro Bowl type of player when healthy, but he hasn't been able to stay healthy. I think he's had 1 or 2 seasons where he's been healthy, and that's it. Now, he is local, and he is a really talented guy, but I also don't know what you're going to pay for him. And then if we pay for him, we have J.C. Horn, who's injury prone, and him, who's injury prone. Like, that's scary. Now, will he improve the secondary? Absolutely. If healthy, that guy's going to be, him and JC would be a very scary duo. But.
Yeah. Yeah, they'd have to change something, because I was just looking at his cap number. His cap number for this year is $25 million, $27 million next year. So that's that's not what you want to pay for somebody who is that questionable in terms of, how much they're going to actually be out there, right?
And the sad thing is, that's what we just gave J.C. Horn.
I know. I mean, I love J.C. Horn, and he played well last year, and hoping that he can continue to stay healthy. But, like, to your point, two of those guys making, that kind of money, that's tough. That would be tough.
Now, I 100% think that this secondary needs help, whether it's safety. I'm a big proponent of getting more depth at corner. Right now, with J.C. Horn, Mike Jackson, and Charles Smith-Wade, and I don't even know any of the other corners off the top of my head. Do you?
Off the top of my head, I mean, nope.
I mean, and we run this podcast. We're typically on it, but I mean, I don't know. Like, that was one shock in this offseason that I was like, wait a minute, why didn't they attack that a little bit more? At least bring in a couple veterans, and I'm hoping they still do. So.
Yeah, looking, just kind of pulling up quickly here. Shamar Bartholomew.
Never heard
Caleb
of her.
Evans.
Never heard of her.
MJ Devonshire.
Never heard of her.
Is this the Panthers? Yeah, this is the Panthers. Corey Thornton.
Oh, that name does sound familiar. Thornton, I think it is.
Travis, it's Thornton. Thornton.
Okay.
I'm sure it's pronounced Thornton, but and then Travis Broughton. And those are specifically the cornerbacks, and then they've got Shaw Smith-Wade as a nickelback.
Yeah. And I thought he played good at nickel last year, and he's hopefully going to take a second-year jump. But we need some more players, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Shamar Bartholomew he has played in 5 total games, all of them with the Panthers last year. Caleb Evans, he played 3 years with Minnesota. He did play 15 games in 2023. But he's played 9 games total he played 9 games last year, I guess. Half Minnesota and then a couple of games with us. But yeah, I mean, those are right now, those are your 2 main backups at corner. It feels like going into the season with that is just asking for trouble.
Yes, 100% asking. And again, it's nothing against the top 3 guys. I would prefer better players than Mike Jackson, but he played well last year, so I can't knock him too much. But
yeah, he's fine. He's a fine number 2 corner, but he is one twisted ankle away from being the number 1 corner, and then you're in trouble.
Yep.
When Shamar Bartholomew is your number 2 corner.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We definitely need some competition there. And look at safety. Damani Richardson, undrafted guy last year who played well, but I'd also wouldn't say that I'm happy with him going into the season as a starter. And Latham Ransom is probably not going to be ready.
Yeah. Yeah, again, the secondary, we've talked about it. It's the weakest part of the team right now. Mm-hmm. Even, and again, just adding a Jaire Alexander, just adding a Jalen Ramsey changes the whole dynamic significantly, right? Mm-hmm. Or a Blackmon, right? like some of these guys that are out there that are still, that are available either via trade or just free agency, can improve this team. Yeah. And they're going to have to do something.
Quickly looking at the spot racks cornerback free agency, that's still out there. I mean, you still could there's Rasul Douglas, Kendall Fuller, James Bradbury. All these guys are over 30 years old. Sure. Stephon Gilmore, Mike Hilton. I'm going to skip over CJ Henderson. Don't want to talk about that guy anymore. Shaq Griffin. Yeah. I mean,
again, these guys that, were good at some point in their career, but now like you're bringing them in just as a veteran presence and a spot player, really. I mean, even like somebody like Bradbury, he's not I wouldn't say he's a 17-game starting corner anymore.
No, the best young option, I'm using that as a quote, would be Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I remember correctly, there's a lot of questions on him just in general.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, I mean, so again, it's looking like a trade for a top corner. I mean, there's some better options out there at safety, I think, in terms of free agents.
Oh yeah, free agency.
Yeah. There's always good safety free agents, like even into the season, it seems like.
Yeah. There's always like a guy or two that can actually literally start and look good and just...
I think we brought Trey Boston in one time, like either right before the season or when the season started, and he was fine.
Yeah.
Like that's just what they do. Yeah.
But yeah, I think in that position, safety, I think Julian Blackmon really kind of fits what this team needs as... Morek is more going to be in the box, and you need that, zone safety back there. And he's young, but it wouldn't shock me if that's why he's still available, is he's maybe looking for a longer contract.
Sure. I mean, wouldn't you be? But again, it's a safety position. Like it's like running back. It's not, for some reason, it's not very highly valued by most teams. And he's just not going to get crazy money. But, I mean, that would be a dream scenario, I think, bringing him in. Imagine if you could bring him in and trade for, like, Jalen Ramsey or something. I mean, all of a sudden, like, at that point, you might be thinking not only division, but, maybe winning a playoff series.
Yeah.
Or a playoff game,
Now, Julian Blackmon's market value on Spot Rack, $8 million. And that could be it, too. They may not want to pay him 2 years, 16. They may just want to do a 1 year, just rent the player.
Yeah, which is dangerous for a guy like him, because then all of a sudden that's what you're doing every year, right?
Yeah,
you're signing these 1 year deals every year. So he wants to get some security.
Yeah, you're 27 years old, going into the season. So that means next year you're 28 years old. So... Yeah. That's tough for those guys.
I bet if you offered him like 3 years, 20, with like 12 guaranteed or something. I mean that's not unreasonable.
Have like an out in the after 2, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think bringing him in would be very helpful, or they have to bring someone in this secondary to help. I would like another safety, preferably a starting caliber safety, and another cornerback that is solid depth. And the guys you just spoke of, they're not solid depth. I'm sorry. I mean, they could be in time.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Those guys. I mean, the even the free agents that you were talking about. I mean, Rasul Douglas would probably be the number 3 corner.
Oh, 100%
on this team. Like,
let me flip back to them. Like, there's some like guys that are perfect for what I'm thinking. A 1 year rental of a $4 or $5 million guy that's more depth than anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I always liked Rasul Douglas here. I never really understood why they let him go after the one season that he had here. I thought he was really good. Mm-hmm. and he's played in playoff games since then. He's been a solid corner.
Yeah,
I don't know how old he is now. He's probably in his mid-30s, but
no, he's 30.
Okay, so he's still, still kind of in his prime. He may be
31 when the season starts. They have his age as 30.8, so I don't really understand that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up what his PFF.
Well, his market value, according to Spotrac, of course, is 11.9. He made himself some money in Buffalo last year.
Yeah, he's PFF gives him basically straight average, right? He's just 59.2 overall grade, which is kind of right in the middle. He's just an average corner, which again, for to your point, for a depth piece, would probably be fine.
Yeah. I know
what was his
11.9.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's more than I'd want to pay for him, I think.
Me too. 100%. He got paid $7 million last year, so
that's more like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. 5 to 7.
Yeah, I mean most of these corners. That's what it is. Asante Samuel got paid $1.8 million last year, and his market value is 11. I bet you he's looking for a nice payday.
He got paid 1.8 last year.
Yeah, I think he was still on his rookie contract.
Oh, got it. I guess James Bradberry didn't play at all last year. Was he hurt? He was hurt all last year, I guess.
He was with Philadelphia. I don't know. He probably was injured all last year. Got a Super Bowl ring though.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll be 32. Yeah, he'll be 32 next. By the time the season starts.
Yeah. Asante Samuel is right in line with Russell Douglas. He's also 5'10", though, so on his PFF grades.
Yeah. Just quickly looking at James Bradberry. 2023 grade 56.6 overall from PFF. Again, a tick under average. But 2022 he was a 74.1, so he was ranked as a top 25 corner, and his coverage grade was 80.2. And that's just, a couple years ago.
James Bradberry, Dave Gettleman's shining gem of a draft pick, and that was it.
Well, he picked, didn't he pick CMC?
You may be right there.
He turned out okay.
Yeah. All right. So we talked about Julian Blackmon. We talked about Jaire Alexander. Now, another name on the defensive side that was released that has some connections here to Carolina's. Jermaine Pratt, linebacker out of Cincinnati, was released or will be released. I don't know how they do that. They announce it, then they wait a couple days to do it. But anyways, led the team in tackles last year. I know since he's not the greatest defense, they were actually bad. But High Point native. He's just a tackling machine, really good in the box. I would like to bring someone like him in, but I also don't know if they're wanting to get someone like a former captain playmaker that's still 29 years old. I don't know if they would want to bring someone like that in with Trevin Wallace here.
I don't know that they're wanting to put... I mean, if I was them, I wouldn't want to put all my eggs in the Trevin Wallace basket. Just kind of looking at Pratt here. So he had a career year last year for him. By far his best season, 143 tackles. Previous year he had 118, and those are the only 2 years of his 6-year career that he's had over 100 tackles. He did have 2 interceptions last year as well. Actually, he's had 2 interceptions the last 3 years. Each of the last 3 years he's had 2 interceptions. So, yeah, I mean, I hadn't seen the news about this guy, being potentially available, but that's another spot linebacker that we could use probably an upgrade.
Yeah, I mean, we have Trevin Wallace, Josie Jewell, and Rosebloom, who we just signed, who's a solid depth piece, which I have no problems with, but is that what we're... Basically, I feel like this is a team that's really banking on Trevin Wallace taking that leap, which he got a raw deal last season. He's a raw product coming out. He third round pick, wasn't supposed to really start. He needed time to develop, and then he got thrown into the starting role right away. And then he even had to be the captain with the green helmet, relaying all the information shortly after that. So poor guy did get kind of slammed in there. Horrible run defense, So hopefully he could take a step back this season and just take a breath and worry about his own role and play fast that way.
Yeah. Just again with Pratt here, I was just reading. He had 20 missed tackles last year. So could also be a performance reason that they're getting rid of him. But again, if you can get him for the right price, bringing in somebody that had almost 150 tackles last year is not a bad way to go.
No.
But yeah, I mean, Trevin Wallace, I know, definitely thrown into the fire before he was ready, like for sure. But gained valuable experience last year, and as you said, hopefully this year maybe he gets a chance to kind of reset, use what he's learned, learn from a veteran who's going to be there the whole season, hopefully, in Josey Jewell, who I like. By the way, I think Josey Jewell could easily be a 120 tackle guy if he stays healthy this year.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knocked Josey Jewell. I think he played really well last year for us when he was in there. Yep. So I know we kind of banked on that in the offseason of like, are we really relying on Josey Jewell and, opposite Shaq? But, well, he did great. Shaq didn't. He's up at Buffalo now, which congratulations to him.
Yeah, not a surprise. If he was going to go anywhere, that seemed like the place. With his familiarity with McDermott and everything. But I hope that Shaq gets a little bit of playing time up there. That'd be nice to see. I like Shaq.
I do too. I think he will. I think he's a good vet presence that knows his job. And I was hoping do you know what they signed him for?
I do not. I am going to assume it's probably like veteran minimum.
Well, no one signs for the minimum anymore. But he probably got
I mean, like as close to the veteran minimum. Let's see. They don't seem to have numbers out for him yet. It's a 1-year deal.
Yeah. He was someone I would have liked to bring back as a presence in the locker room for cheap if good, but
his market value, by the way, on Spot Rack was $1 million, so he is not going to get paid a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, go chase that ring.
Hey, man. I mean, honestly, good for him. I was worried, or I was honestly thinking that he probably wouldn't even make a team. That his career was probably over.
Well, I mean,
or he might be one of those, guys who's brought in kind of later in the season or something. But
does he need that though? I mean, I get it. Like, if he wants to play, he wants to play. But does he need that? Like, he's made so much money. He's had a great career, like a really good NFL career. So I mean,
but he obviously still wants to play.
So
I think that's just that's the only point that needs to be said. He still wants to play, and there was at least one team who was interested. So.
Oh, I mean, again, I think a younger team or anybody or a Super Bowl contending team that needs some depth there, that's a good pickup, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Well, what else? What else is there to talk about?
I mean, we're at 24 minutes. There's not much going on in the Panthers realm.
No, not too much. I'm just reading. I got an alert from the Panthers of 4 things. Okay, so Amari Barno sidelined after knee procedure. Are you concerned about that? How about give me your level of concern for Amari Barno, 1 to 10?
1. I don't think he's making the roster either way.
Let's see. Lots of alumni on hand for practice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I went to the Savannah Bananas baseball game or banana ball game. on Friday. And Luke Kuechly threw out the first pitch.
Yep, saw that.
Greg Olson played first base for 1 out. He did not get involved in the play. And Jonathan Stewart came in, and he pinch ran from second base. He ended up scoring on a little blooper. But they gave him a football when he was at third base, and he ran to home with the football in his hand. So
I would have liked to have seen there be a collision at home plate with the catcher like that.
That'd have been fun. Yeah.
I want to see that catcher's poor face. I mean,
yeah.
I know he's older, but man, you got to know Jonathan Stewart
he's still pretty stout. He's still pretty stout. But yeah, I mean, first of all, like if you have a family or something and you can get tickets, like it was hard to get tickets, you had to get the lottery. That was really, really fun. Good show and everything. But obviously there's some Panthers alumni in town. So they were there, and apparently they were at practice as well. Let's see what else here. Canales, basically just saying that they're kind of looking around at other teams and potentially bringing in players. They'll have conversations and stuff. So it sounds like they're definitely not done adding players, and nor should they be.
No, I mean,
yeah. And again, like once cuts happen, you kind of want to have some of that cap space left over, because there will be players that can come help the team that are cut. There always are.
Yeah, where a younger second-round pick rookie looks ready, and they have a guy that's on his last year contract that they can save $7 million, so they're like, oh, well, we're gonna go cheap route and save some money.
It often comes down to that, right? It often comes down to just saving a few $1 million here or there, and that's for teams like the Saints or teams that are always perpetually in cap hell or whatever you want to call it. Those guys are always releasing veterans, and I think again, this is a young team, but as we've kind of discussed, bringing in a veteran player at linebacker, bringing in a veteran player at safety, could help this team quite a bit.
Yeah,
Not only from just depth percent, but from experience.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really kind of excited to see what this defense has. I know I agree that we do need to get a couple more pieces, but I mean, that front's looking pretty nice.
On paper.
On paper. I agree with that. On paper. Yeah. They've added so much on that line that that was one thing when I was discussing about Jermaine Pratt and Trevin Wallace, is what I was thinking is, Trevin Wallace really did not get a chance. And now he's going to have some lanes open up front, especially if Derek Brown and A'Shawn Robinson stay healthy, those big behemoths, and then they can get some pressure and stuff like that, that he might be able to, really come out and be that guy now that he has time to develop and focus on his job and his job only.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they didn't go out and sign any superstars on defense, but everybody that they signed is a young player who is coming off of their best year and seemingly has just a ton of potential for growth. Mm-hmm. And if you believe that Evero is the guy that can get the most out of these players and can kind of bring them to that next level, then the sky's the limit for this defense, even as it's currently constructed. As long as we can get some luck with the health,
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of looking back at Christian Rosebloom, but just because of the simple fact that we're talking about linebackers here. I mean, he's 28 years old, and he played in LA, so basically the same defense.
Right.
And he has familiarity with him. So, I mean...
Yeah, I mean, maybe linebacker's not in as bad a spot as we thought.
No, I mean, that's what he brought Josie Jewell in last year, familiarity. Yeah. And we both were agreed saying that he looked good last year.
Yeah. And, at safety, we've got Moreg, who we signed, who, again, had a really good season last year. He seems to be on the upside of his career. That the other safety spot, Nick Scott, is and Damani Richardson, so questionable there.
What? You're not.
Best.
Yeah,
but yeah, every defense is going to have a weak spot. Like you can't have bangers at every position.
But I do think our weak spots are pretty weak right now, so we do probably need to go that.
Yeah, but again, we're coming off like a historically bad defensive season. There's nowhere to go but up. And the offense is going to be better. The offense is going to stay on the field longer. Going to put together some sustained drives. That's going to help the defense. I mean, I'm very optimistic that the entire team is going to improve pretty dramatically over what we saw last year.
Yeah. With a better defense, the offense doesn't have to score 30, 40 points. I mean, the offense, again, look at how much... I'm excited for the offense. I'm not even going to lie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
JT Sanders, everybody keeps talking about T-Mac and XL and everybody else, and I'm like, man, JT Sanders, I have a feeling he's not going to have 1,000 yards just because I think there's going to be a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be looking at him saying, wow, at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean, he could be up there with Ian Thomas in terms of just raw playmaking ability.
Exactly. Like, you can't let go of this guy. I mean, he sticks around forever.
Just another Ian Thomas. No. And then they drafted that tight end,
Mitchell
Evans.
Yeah.
Who has looked pretty good in camp, and he may have something to show as well. But yeah, I mean, and when you talk about like Rico Dowdle in the backfield, just spelling Chuba, and you don't really go down that much in talent, or ability, because they can both catch the ball out of the backfield. They can both, run between the tackles or go outside. There's a lot of weapons. This is, again, on paper, looks pretty good.
Yeah. I saw a list. I mean, it's continuing on here randomly, but I saw a list the other day that had like the top 10 running back duos of the league. I think Rico and Chuba came in at 7, and I was like, who's better than them? Literally everyone besides one group was running back and quarterback, like Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook. I was like,
yeah,
or Cook, and I was
Lamar
just like,
and Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I'm like, that's almost cheating.
That's kind of cheating. Yeah.
I mean, I get it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's Bryce could be a 300-yard rusher this year, right? Like Bryce could put 300, 400, 500 yards up if he really wanted to. Like, I don't know if that is a good thing for our defense if he's running for 450 yards, but I don't know.
I don't know. He was pretty good towards the end of this year. Everything with Bryce was good towards the end of the year, but getting some yardage, but not getting stupid with his yardage. I'm looking up his rushing stats last year.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell when he kind of turned it on and really made the decision that he was going to run when running made sense, right?
He had 250 yards last year rushing.
Yeah.
So,
and again, that's that. He missed several games due to benching, and those first few games you don't really even count. So yeah, I could easily see him around 400 yards this year, playing the whole season with that confidence.
Yeah.
Add that to the potentially 2,000 yards from the other two guys combined. Add another 100 yards in from various wide receivers. Like, you're looking at 2,500 rushing yards on an offense that you hope is going to throw for 4,000. So
hopefully, Dave Canales, remember to run the ball.
Yeah, but he wants to throw. Deep down, he wants to throw.
It's like Madden. It's like Madden. Yeah. I'm averaging 7 yards per carry.
You're bringing in a wide receiver coach, quarterback coach, run the ball? No. Like, he wants to throw the ball. He's going to say all the right things. And I hope that they do run the ball because they have 2 talented running backs. But I want to see them air it out too, man. I want to go downfield. I want to see Bryce throw for 4,000 yards. I want to see Bryce establish himself as, a top 15 quarterback in the league this year.
I think he will. I 100% believe he will. I'm going to bring up this PFF list, and we'll probably actually do a whole segment on it because they go through everyone and stuff.
Okay.
But they had him in the 20s, and what they said was logical. They're like, we're setting him here because of his past. But if he continues on this trajectory of his last 10 games, he's going to be much higher. But it's hard to judge. And I can't fault them in that type of aspect.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very optimistic because what we saw most recently was him playing well.
And we've seen nothing but, cow manure on the field since David Tepper took over. So when we saw that diamond coming out, we were like, oh, finally something.
Right. But more of his career has kind of been bad. Like, he's had many more, bad games in his career than he's had good games. He's had many more losses than he's had wins. So to be skeptical that what we saw at the end of last year is kind of what he's going to build from, I think is, like you said, logical, right? It's, as the fans, we're like, oh my God, like, he's figured it out. He's going to win, 12 games this year, and he's going to lead the league in passing. Like, that's what we hope happens. But what's more likely, I guess, that he reverts back to a pumpkin, or that he comes out and, has a, top 10 season. I don't know. I don't know what's more likely. You're muted. Can't hear you.
So he's only played or started 28 games in his NFL career. So he's had 11 good games, because the Green Bay game in his rookie season, he was really good. So that leaves 17 games he was really bad in. So, but
the majority of those good games have come in the last half of last season, right?
So,
which is what you want to see.
Yeah.
Right? If you're looking at growth, you want to see the better things coming more recently. So again, for anyone who wants to doubt him, like, I understand that, but for anyone like me who is extremely optimistic and thinks that he's as good as he was last year, that's as bad as he's going to be moving forward, I understand that as well, and I salute you and support you.
Yeah, I'm right there. I hope, and I think he's gonna. He seems different. His swagger seems to be different. Even the video clips I see him, he doesn't seem as, I don't want to say nervous because that's not the right word, but more questioning. Now he just seems relaxed,
confident, relaxed. He knows what the deal is. He's comfortable in the offense. Again, this is the first time he's had the same coordinator 2 years in a row, the same coaching staff 2 years in a row. So there's some consistency. They've given him some weapons. Like, it's all set up for Bryce to have success. If he's got it in him, then we're going to see it.
Yep.
And I believe he's got it in him.
I do too. All right. I think we rambled on way too long, but we just started talking. That's how this podcast actually got started anyways. Literally this.
Yep. All right. Well, I don't have anything else if we're ready to wrap it up.
All right. We want to thank everyone for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMix Podcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. If you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We'll be back in, next week or the week after, but we won't leave you guys hanging for too long. I appreciate the support. And until next time, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.